Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. Petey is joining us this morning. Here's Petey. There he is. Say good morning, Pete. This is video 195. It's Wednesday, February 28th. I am Carrie Freeman. This is a left-leaning YouTube channel. So I discuss politics and psychic information. I make predictions and I do the runes. And anything you would want to know about me, contact me about sessions, anything is below. So then I won't waste time with a big, long introduction. I'm the writer, producer, director of this YouTube channel. And welcome. So this is for entertainment purposes only. And it really helps, as you know, you hear it from everybody. Please like and subscribe. Now, I don't know what Pete's doing back there. Pete, whatever you're doing, just come in and sit down. Okay, he's antsy. I brought him on because I wanted to tell everybody a story. This insane thing that happened, what was it, Monday night? Yeah, Monday night. Went to bed, was sleeping. And usually Petey is in the bedroom with me. He's either on the bed or he's on the floor, but he's usually in the bedroom with me. So I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I hear a cat fight, but I mean a cat fight. So loud, except here's the kicker, people. It was in my bedroom, the cat fight, and I only have one cat, Petey. So I'm like, what the hey is going on? I jump out of bed and I see another cat, and it's a short hair tuxedo, kind of long, lanky, but short hair, black and white. And when I got up, they charged out into the front room. I went into the front room and I don't see the stray cat. And Petey's like freaked out. And I go out onto my second story porch, which no human could reach, by the way. And I look, and that cat is in the dark, is on the second story porch. So I throw open my screen, my window, floor to ceiling window, and I go out there. And the stray just like freaked when it saw me, and it jumped over a big like wall and left. And then so Pete was shook up, and I looked at the side of the bed where the fight started, and there was fur everywhere on the floor, and there was even a little poop because one of them got really excited, and I think it was Pete. So I stayed up the rest of the night, like another 2 hours, just to keep him calm and sit with him and so on and so forth. So I'm just kind of getting back on my feet today. It was like unbelievable. 2:30 in the morning, a strange cat. It had found its way onto my porch, walked through my little cat door, and found the bedroom. Oh my heavens, it was something. All right, so now I'm going to start with the reading. Thanks for listening to that. Good evidence. I'm going to start with good evidence, good political evidence, good world evidence right now, because we need some. So France's Macron announced the creation of a new coalition to supply Ukraine with longer range missiles, adding he can't rule out the possibility of sending Western troops to fight Russia, and I wish we would actually. And he is quoted as saying the defeat of Russia is essential for security and stability in Europe. And the feeling when I saw him, the feeling was that he's annoyed at the United States. And it's such a shame because, it's not Biden's fault what's happening. It's all squarely falling on the shoulders of Mike Johnson. Pastor Speaker Mike, as you know, I have a long name for him. But Macron is jumping in. And that's a really good leadership thing, and probably more will follow. And I still think the U.S. is gonna step forward with help. You know, we don't know what Joe Biden is thinking, planning, what he knows, what tricks he has. It's not happening fast enough, but I did throw some runes on Ukraine. All right, so another piece of good evidence. You know, it's really weird. Even this brand new computer is blowing up. So I guess they're all sensitive. Jeez Louise. Okay. All right. So the next piece of good evidence is that Michigan's Democratic Party, the Black Caucus, has just given its endorsement to President Joe Biden. So the Black Caucus of the Michigan Democratic Party, thumbs up. More good evidence. Joe Biden won Michigan primary statewide by 99%. And it's a bigger win than last time. And he received more Democratic votes in support than Trump did in GOP support. So Biden got 99% and Trump got 66% of the GOP votes when he underperformed. That's a theme. He's underperforming. Good news for us, all right? And the uncommitted was around 16.2. Now, the experts say that the uncommitted historically, they come in and they vote Democrat. They just don't make a big deal about it. They don't talk about it. They don't commit to it. But that's usually what happens. So I'm mentioning that. And then there's more good evidence. Texas. You probably can never imagine that Texas would come out with some good evidence, but it did. The Houston Chronicle, their editorial board, said that they are backing Biden in the Democratic primary and for re-election, so he can make life better. That's what they wrote. Make life better for the American people, as well as prevent the chaos, corruption, and danger to our nation that would accompany his presumed 2024 Republican challenger, Donald Trump. And that is a Texas newspaper. So way to go, Texas Houston Chronicle. All of those. And then I think the last piece of political good evidence is that last week there was a whole thing about the GOP didn't want to swear in the new Congressman Mazzei from New York that took Josh Santos' seat. But they are. Okay, they're swearing him in. That's the news. So that's going to go forward. And then there's a little factoid here I want to share with you. The House and Senate have no discretion when deciding whether to seat a candidate who has been duly elected under the state law, but may take steps to expel that member after they have been sworn in. Now, that was a general statement. It wasn't about Congressman Mazzei. That was just a FYI. The court decided that the constitutional rights of the voters and the states take precedence over the rights of Congress until the candidate is sworn in as a member. And I don't think they're going to take steps to kick out Mazzei. I mean, like, on what grounds? And the majority in Congress is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and may get even smaller yet. All right, so now we're going to get into this FBI scandal with the informant named Smirnoff, who allegedly was working for our FBI, feeding them information, but he was like a double agent, and he was feeding Comer and Jim Jordan all these lies about Joe Biden so that they could go ahead and impeach him.
And actually, a memo went out privately to the GOP stating, be cautious about Smirnov. We're not sure about him. Well, Comer and Jordan evidently ignored any warnings, didn't vet, and they just went ahead because all they want to do is impeach Joe Biden, and they need to find a reason. They're looking for a reason. So this blows. So I did runes. Are Comer and Jordan guilty in that? Did they know about Smirnov already? Did they know he was a double agent, a liar, that none of it was true? So I got strange runes. I'm not going to lie to you. So we're going to go through these together, and I'm going to try to sift through the truth. So the first rune I got about Comer and Jordan, are they guilty? Did they know the truth? And I got flow. Flow is about water. That's which conducts. And it does talk about unseen powers being active here. And I would say, yeah, that would be true on steroids. Powers that nourish, shape, and connect. Those would be powers to make Joe Biden guilty of something. So it is about the ebb and flow of emotions, careers, relationships. Speaks to the experience of living without having to evaluate or understand. So they're not evaluating or understanding. They're just impeaching. They don't care if it's true. So that is what hit me. So this flow draws us towards union and merging instead of differentiation, which seems opposite of what we are looking at right now. However, it is a time for cleansing, revaluing, reorganizing, realigning. So this scandal is going to create cleansing, revaluing, reorganizing, and realigning. It is a rune of deep transformation, but it also says self-transformation. So if and when the DOJ comes to investigate fully Comer and Jordan and see what they were up to, their malarkey, it could cause them self-transformation. So because it's about the self relating rightly to the self, and of course they are not. They're just completely fake. All right, so then I got protection on this Comer Jordan thing. And it says, know when it's time to retreat and consolidate. And these guys should be thinking about retreating rather than punching forward, which is what they do because they're taking orders from Donald Trump. It says, during times of transition and change, it's important not to collapse yourself into your emotions. And privately, these guys are really nervous right now. They really are. New challenges are typical of this rune. The protection serves as a mirror for the spiritual warrior whose battle is always with the self. And, you know, you could say that about pretty much all the Republicans, that their battle is with themselves because they want to keep their jobs, they want to keep their income, their power, and whatever money they are already receiving from Putin. So timely right action and correct conduct are really the only protections here. Unlikely that they are going to practice correct conduct. And then the final one is growth in reverse. All right? Growth in reverse. So aspects of character may interfere with growth, or it could be events outside yourself. And you may also feel dismay, that's them, Comer and Jordan, at failing to take right action. They will probably regret that, my friends. And rather than dismay, they should be diligent. They should get on board. So it tells them, examine deeply if you have a role in this event or disappointment, and keep asking questions to strip away your obstacles to growth. So we didn't get like this firm answer, but I feel that their growth is going to be stunted. And I think they're going to just face some stuff this time for cleansing, revaluing, reorganizing, realigning. And they're going to resist it all the way. But this is going to be a bigger and bigger scandal with Smirnov. It's not going to go away. Now, you may or may not know that there was what they are calling an intense meeting that happened yesterday in the White House with Chuck Schumer, McConnell, Speaker Jeffries, Pastor Mikey Johnson, and our great Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden, of course, all to talk about Ukraine. And nobody was in there, but who was it that came out? Schumer came out. I know Schumer said it was very intense. And I went, oh, they were yelling. They were yelling in that meeting. When they say intense, they were yelling because Pastor Speaker Mike was the only one in that room not wanting to vote for Ukraine. And so they were in there maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, I'm not sure, when they came out. I don't think Schumer took questions, but Pastor Mike stepped up to the microphone with all the journalists there, and he spoke, but he didn't take questions, okay, because they would have been really hard questions. Everybody would have been yelling, what about Ukraine? What are you going to do about Ukraine? So he came out, and this man of the Bible who reads the Bible, he basically came out and just bold-faced lied. He did. He bold-faced lied because he said, you know, the most important thing that I am concerned about is the border. Nothing happens until the border is fixed. And so it was the most extreme gaslighting that Pastor Speaker pervert, insurrectionist, little Mikey Johnson, because we offered them a great border bill, including Ukraine, and it was refused. So this was BS. It was shocking. So it tells us there's really something wrong with this guy, because he's got like this Bible in one hand and then Putin's hand in another hand. He's not a man of God. He's not a man of people or caring about children's lives or people's lives or what's really happening in Europe. So my next rune was, is Mikey Johnson a Russian operative? And then I just asked for, what's the energy going on here? So again, I got these kind of weird runes. So I got to accept them. This is like Amor Fati, love of fate. So I got the rune of joy and light. It's a fruit-bearing branch. It speaks of happiness, things finally coming together. We like that. It speaks of the culmination of a phase of learning and growth. And maybe Johnson is getting so kicked around that he's in the process of learning and growth. Although he seems very stuck, staunch, immovable, naive, and like he's just a little guy who doesn't really know what he's doing and what's at stake. And it says, if joy appears in your casting, you can be assured that a positive result that brings joy to your heart is in the offing. Well, that may be interpreted as there's a breakthrough on Ukraine after that meeting, even though it didn't seem so yesterday. Okay, that's my left ear's interpretation. So this rune, joy, is emblematic of a new clarity and understanding about the current situation. And it says, you will be able to do whatever it is you choose. That sounds good for us, doesn't it? Incorporate all the new learnings that you have. You are ready to open your arms and your emotions. So this is about Mike Johnson. And my interpretation is that he's gonna make a little bit of a turnaround. If not that, we will experience joy at what we are able to do for Ukraine coming up soon. It will bring rewards and forward advancement, okay? And there's a partnering involved. So, well, now we know Macron is stepping in, which is fantastic. And maybe others, I think Poland refuses and Germany refuses right now. And then the final, fertility, new beginnings. So new beginnings can only mean we resurrect supporting Ukraine. And it's an urge towards harmonizing and adjusting in the sphere of personal relationships. So drawing this rune may mark a time of joyful deliverance. You now have the strength to achieve completion or resolution, and it opens up new beginnings. That just sounds like Ukraine to me. You know, I don't know if I mentioned this. I probably mentioned it a long time ago. You probably know it. But the very mysterious thing about Pastor Speaker is that nobody can find that he has a bank account, checking account, savings account. Nobody can find. And so what's he doing if he's getting this money? And there's more and more investigation going on that he got $20 million from Russia. So this fertility, however, it signals an emergence from a closed chrysalis state. And that would be the whole situation here with the House of Representatives and Mikey Johnson. But also Ukraine has it hasn't imploded, but it's gotten like sort of smaller and more careful because it doesn't have what it needs to fight. They have the spirit, though, these people. They're extraordinary people, the people of Ukraine. So I just want to say that, yeah, I think despite what these runes sound like, I really do, my left ear feels that Pastor Speaker is, he's just like a dirty guy. You know, he's a dirty operative. Like I said, fertility is the energy of beginnings and new births. I like that. It's soon upon us. Changes in the offing, good change, and then the harvest, the beneficial outcomes. So we'll just, we'll kind of just leave this here and we can revisit it. We can't push the river, as they say. We have to be patient, but it's hard to be patient when Ukraine is waiting. All right. Now, I'm doing this reading. It's just going to be a little bit shorter. I have a whole bunch of notes on another piece of paper. So I'm going to come back Friday or Saturday and continue on with the reading, because if this is too long, it's going to take forever to upload. So it drives me crazy to do something in the late morning and then you don't get it until 10 o'clock that night. So I want this to get out. That's why it's a little more succinct. But I do have a quote. And the quote is from Simon Rosenberg, the Democratic political strategist who's quite brilliant. And he said 2 nights ago on Lawrence O'Donnell, Democrats are consistently overperforming right now, and Republicans are continually struggling. That's fact. Okay, that is fact. My left ear predicts a lower voter turnout from the GOP. It has for a while. Just a hunch, so I'm sharing it with you. And the last thing was, it's just personal. It's really small because I don't have time for the larger thing I want to share. I worked at the Screen Actors Guild Awards over the weekend at the rehearsals on Sunday, and I ran into people that I hadn't seen for many years. I mean, many years. And I got from a couple of the men, I got such compliments on my silver hair. They loved it, and they actually said, you should go back into acting. You could do commercials with that. You look fantastic. So I got a little, what? It made me feel good. It lit me up. It made me feel good. And I had misplaced a beautiful drawing of my brother that my sister-in-law sent to me after he passed away. And Petey spilled a bunch of papers and envelopes and folders in a very difficult place for me to retrieve them. So I had to get like a long pole, and I found the picture of my brother. So I felt like he was dropping in to say hello to me, and that was a blessing. So I will see you in a couple days for sure. There's more to talk about. Peace and blessings. Make sure you vote. Make good peace. Make good memories. And we will talk more in a few days. Okay, bye-bye.